big what's up to everybody. Welcome back to the channel. As of this video's creation, we are about 5 days removed from the James Harden trade. And believe it or not, the 76ers, your 76ers, our 76ers are actually pretty good. Sitting at 4-1 and second in the East. Having won 4 straight, should have been 5 games if the refs didn't steal it for Milwaukee on opening night. But once again, winners of 4 straight. The team is playing a new brand of dynamic basketball that involves cutting, movement, and passing. You know life is good when Furkan Korkmaz is getting minutes. Shout out to the Turk. I would attribute this breath of fresh air to 3 things. One, obviously, first and foremost, Nick Nurse. He definitely has began a cultural reset for the organization. Obviously team, but organization, which was clearly needed. The dynamic offense of passing and movement, cutting is just bar none. The fact that, Joel Embiid is kind of putting up, and it's sad that I even have to actually say this, but putting up Nikola Jokic type stats, has the most assists of his career up to this point. Obviously small sample size, but Nick Nurse instilling a defense-minded first team, putting the emphasis on defense is just amazingly good to see. Second would be Tyrese Maxey and his development up to this point. The passes, this man has gotten better every single year, like he said he was going to do, but still to see this in real time, but there's a reason why this man is nicknamed the franchise, which is apropos because he saved the franchise from shambles. And the third would be Kelly Oubre Jr., who has already become a fan favorite. He shoots threes like a mofo. Scoring off the bench or even scoring in the starting 5 is what we need and what we have needed for a long time. When have we ever had an actual catch and shoot 3 player who can play decent defense? And not just any 3-and-D player, a 3-and-D player that's dynamic, who can actually score the ball off the dribble. Come on now. So once again, we've played 5 games. We should have won all 5, but 4-1 second in the East. Obviously, we haven't really played the big dogs yet, the big boys, or at least one could, make that argument. But from what I'm seeing so far, we are taking care of business. Okay, so we do have to talk about the actual trade for a few. I definitely already gave this time on my last video, so I'll keep it brief. But the trade was in my opinion. I originally gave it a C-, but I'll put it now to a C+. Still a C though. It's still average. And I only say this because the trade itself resets us back to 0, which is obviously better than where we were 2 weeks ago, but I'm tired of the fluidity each year. That's where we are every single year. Puncher's chance to win a chip, never the highest chance, with cap flexibility to boot. Maybe that's what the process yielded, opportunities to take a stab at it each year, but no real consistency roster wise, if that makes sense. People can be mad at him for the way he, smuggled his way out of Philly to a situation that he wanted to in Los Angeles. But at the end of the day, when he got here, we already knew who James Harden was, and that's who he showed to be. Helped us in the playoffs, but also disappeared in the playoffs as well. All I am going to say is he played a big role in Embiid getting his first MVP, as well as developing Maxey. So I can't get mad at the Bull. And he got us back to, ground zero, with the assets that we got for trading him. So it's all good. I enjoyed my time with James Harden on the team. I enjoyed it immensely. Anyway, the trade leaves us at one consequence: giving the ball to Tyrese Maxey and him becoming Bull. I definitely owe a video on him. But we already know the whole darn dash deal. I am all in on giving Maxey the keys to the offense, like I said for a while. Like it or not, those 2 years with James Harden aided in his development. And the fact that he's doing, more passes, good passes, that's amazing. Nick Nurse loves a dynamic guard. You gotta love it. So overall, or the final piece that I want to make clear, and this may be controversial, but unless there is an obvious trade that will put this team over the top, and listen closely now, not make us slightly better, but actually put us over the top in a top 2, top 3 conversation, I would keep the roster intact and see what they can do long term. The name of the game is chemistry, and we need to gel. Besides, this core of Maxey, Embiid, and Tobias already has chemistry, one could argue, but now we have the athletic shooting wings to back us up. And that in 2023 NBA basketball is a formula for success. I would say that, this roster build is the same John as Ben's rookie year, but with more defense overall and a score first point guard. Long term, we will see, because that's what, an NBA schedule does. But what I can say is God bless Nick Nurse, God bless Tyrese Maxey, and God bless Kelly Oubre Jr.